Good morning, one and all. Myself Bhavani from Civil Department. Today I am going to tell you on the topic of effects and causes of floods. In the last class we studied about the what is meant by flood and what are the different types of floods and what are the different causes of that types of floods. Okay, coming to this topic, that is causes of flood. Mainly these floods can be caused because of this heavy rainfall. Means we already know that if the heavy rainfall or a prolonged rainfall is occurred, means that will overall damage the drainage system and also the rivers, that will lead to the river flooding or urban flooding also. Okay, these urban flooding and the river flooding is caused due to this irregular drainage systems, and proper drainage systems will not be there. For that one, urban floods can be occurred, and these river floods can be occurred when the river water that will go towards the downstream that cannot take so much capacity of the water. They will just send towards the downstream there. That is called as the river flooding here. Because of this heavy rainfall only, these river flooding or urban flooding can be easily occurred. Means, of course, we are having some flash flooding also. This flash flooding, it will be occurred suddenly and it will occur very fast, and too much rain takes place at that time. Means without any warning system, it will just fall down and we are not having any place to go at that time also. That is called as the flash flooding. Okay, here you can see the heavy rainfall in this picture. And next one is snow melting. Here, melting of the snow, nothing but there will be some ice jam flooding will be there. And because of this ice jam flooding also, floods can be occurred. Means rapid in the spring season, what will happen? Snow is going to be melted easily. But in winter season, it will just freeze. Okay. When the spring season is occurred mainly in the mountainous region or hilly regions, means there will be rapid melting of the snow. And when very large amount of the snow or ice, it melts quickly, means that water is going to be go down through the low lying areas. Means we can't stop them because so much facilities we have to provide nearby areas, but necessary facilities will not be there, like drainage system will not be there. Means there will be so much flooding occurred in that low lying areas there. Okay. Next one is storm surges, and in these storm surges and also tsunamis, in these coastal areas, this flooding can be occurred due to the storm surges, and this is mainly associated with the cyclones and also the hurricanes. And when these storm surges from these hurricanes happen, means it will cause the sea level to rise, and also it will cover the coastal areas normally. Means of course you can see this picture, normal water level will be like this, but when these hurricanes or like some tsunamis like happen, means it will just comes like the giant waves, and these storm surges, this is the picture of storm surges here, not tsunamis. Tsunamis can be occurred with very giant waves. That will be caused due to this earthquake or any other volcanic eruptions also. Due to this also, flooding can be occurred. Okay, and due to this storm surges can be this flooding can be occurred easily. Why? Because when these storm surges occurred, means in the river only, this will just rise its sea level. Okay, and when there will be rise in the sea level, means automatically they will cover the overall coastal areas. Means several feet of the water that will go towards that coastal areas. Okay, means whereas these tsunamis, when the tsunamis occurred, means these tsunamis are going to be occurred with very high speed, and also very giant waves can be occurred. Mainly this can be caused due to this volcanic eruption or earthquakes also. But when these waves move towards the inland means inland flooding can be occurred. Means on the land flooding can be occurred. Means they will just build some height and they will just push the water towards the coastal areas. Means within some minutes also, overall one small town can be washed out because of this tsunamis. Okay. And mainly when the tsunamis occur means it will overall it will damage the infrastructure, human life and also the animal life. It can easily destroyed within the minutes also. Means inland flooding can be occurred at this time. Okay. Next one is river overflows. Means here when normal river will be there, but when in the winter season rainfall will be sometimes it will be heavy and it will be some very less in some conditions. But if the rainfall is very excessive means almost there will be sudden release of the water. Means when we compare these dams means of course just now only I told you in this dams, dam and reservoir is also having some capacity. Other than that capacity, they can't sustain that water. Means what will happen means they will just release that water towards the downstream. Means because of this sudden release of the water, river flooding can be easily happen. And also because of this, there will be so much debris in that river or in the dam that will easily block the water flow. When there will be means when the water is going towards the downstream means it will block some of the area. Okay, that is the one of the main cause of this floods. Okay, rivers easily overflow when this heavy rainfall is going to be occurred. Next one is dam failures. Means in this dam failures if the overall that hydraulic structure is failed means you can see in this picture this is one of the dam, and when this dam is collapsed means this upstream water they will just means this is the reservoir, this overall is the reservoir and this is the dam here. Means if the dam is closed means this upstream water will stay like that only, means stay in that upstream only. But because of the overflow of the water means other than the capacity of the dam, if the water came means it will just collapse like this. Okay, we will be having dam gates will be there, they will just close that gate. If the capacity is of course that dam can bear means they will just close that gates. But if the capacity is very much higher means they have to release the water from upstream to downstream. But if they cannot release that water means they have to send that from upstream to downstream here. Okay, when any dam failures because of this heavy rainfall means some old infrastructure projects will be there. Means that some 50 years or 100 years happen. Means from that 100 years minute cracks are going to be formed on the dams. Means again heavy rainfall is happened means of course these dams have to be store some water. Means when storing of that water, if it is very old infrastructure project means they can't bear the heavy load of that water. Means water pressure will be very high at that time. Means government have that hydrological people sometimes they will raise means 90% they will raise, but sometimes they will just think that okay that dam can sustain that water, but sometimes it cannot sustain. So this dam can be collapsed. Means because of the failure of these dams also these floods can be occurred. Means when dams break means they will just unleash the very tons amount of water on the unsuspected households. And some of the example of this dam failure flooding or Hurricane Katrina that will hit New Orleans in 2005. Means because of this we can't imagine means flooding is occurring in that areas, we can't know. Means immediately if this dam fails means within some minutes only it will go towards that downstream, and towards that downstream in some rural areas will be there, and some urban areas will be there at some area. Means they will just hit that areas, and there will be so much flooding can be happen that will give rise to the so much death. Means so many they are going to lose their lives, whether it may be animals or whether it may be humans also. Next one is urbanization, and in this urbanization, in our urban areas, drainage facilities should be adequate. If there are inadequate drainage facilities means, of course, we have to bear this flooding. Okay. If poor urban planning is developed in the developing areas, means of course, some of the areas, some of the cities will be very much developed according to their infrastructure or IT jobs also. But the drainage system is very much failed. Why? Because if any type of heavy rainfall is occurred means floods are not going to be occurred if that area is developed. If the drainage system is not bear that overall water means they have to, means overall that urban area can be at risk. That will increase the urban flooding here. And what are the best example of this urbanization flooding or inadequate drainage systems, and also the overdevelopment. Means we already know that in some of the areas, some will be some G+50 or G+40 also we are constructing nowadays. Means if we are going to construct that much of building means we have to provide the proper water facility for them. We have to provide, okay, obviously we have to provide. But if that overall that area is having the groundwater also, it cannot having that facility to overall satisfy that that much of people. Okay, so drainage facility is have to be developed so that all the people in the all the houses can be means they are very much comfortable with the drainage system, or whether it may be drinking purpose or whether it may be normal washing purposes also or cleaning purposes also. Okay, if the drainage facility fails means obviously urban area is very much failed with this floods also. You can see this is one of the popular area in our India, that is because of the poor drainage system. You can see how much of water let's see we can see on this land also. Means they will just, of course, everyone will be having their daily life. Means daily they are going for the job, or some will be going to and fro from one city to another city also. If this drainage system fails means road transportation is impossible for them. Okay, so if the drainage system failed means that area is also going to be failed. Next one is deforestation, and in this deforestation, if we are going to cut the trees or removing of this vegetation means that will reduce the land's ability to absorb the water. Means of course if the plant have to be grow means water should be there. Means moisture content will be there to that roots also. If the roots are not having any water means of course they can't grow. But nowadays because of the increase in the urbanization, we are almost cutting the overall forest to forest we are cutting nowadays because of the development of urban areas. If we are going to cut means land ability to absorb the water is also going to be reduced. That will lead to the increased runoff and also the flooding here. Okay, means trees only they are going to absorb the water. Okay, and some of the earth surface can be take the water, but at some content that water can be taken. Overall, deforestation is very much easily destructed nowadays because to develop the overall cities, towns like that. Next one is climatic change, and in this climatic change, mainly it is caused due to the human activities only. Why? Because if you are going to cut the trees means that will affect the photosynthesis. Means when these for example, if the volcanoes happen means there will be from that volcanoes gases like sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide that will release into the atmosphere, and that also changes the overall atmospheric conditions. Okay, that will also lead to some of the disasters. Okay, likewise here also, if we are going to cut the trees means from the trees only we are getting the oxygen. If trees are not there means of course we can't get the oxygen. Means if we cut the trees means almost carbon dioxide is going to be rapidly increasing towards the atmosphere. Means that also can change us in climatic conditions, and it also can cause the natural disaster like floods here. Okay, so if possible, or nowadays government is also providing that means strictly giving the orders like deforestation cannot be done in some of the areas like that. Okay, and next one is emission of the greenhouse gases. Means if this because of this deforestation and because of this industrial wastage, why? Because from the industrial industries or factories also, that air pollution is very much high. Means from that factories and industries so many harmful gases are releasing towards the atmosphere. Means because of this carbon dioxide, means carbon dioxide will also going to be um, releases into the atmosphere, means that will give rise to the greenhouse gases. Means because of these greenhouse gases, ozone layer is going to be depleted. Okay, that will be very much cause for the man-made flooding, and also it can also give rise to the different types of diseases. Why? Because if ozone layer is going to be open means UV radiations will directly fall on our body. That will also cause the so many skin diseases for us. Okay, you can see this picture. In this one, these are all the greenhouse gas emissions. Means almost in the atmosphere we are having carbon dioxide 75% and methane gas 17% and nitrous oxide 6% and fluorinated gas 2%. If these gases they will release into the atmosphere means almost that will cause the greenhouse gases. Means that will going to be cause the means most defect for the ozone layer here. And if these greenhouse gas emissions we have to reduce means we have to grow the trees as much as trees we have to grow to reduce this greenhouse gas emissions. And coming to the next one, that is effects of floods. In this effects of floods, first one is environmental effects. In this environmental effects, first one is soil erosion. When the flood water will be there means that can easily erode the soil. Means there will be so much loss to the fertile land and also the degradation of the agricultural areas. Why? Because if floods occur means they will just go into the agricultural fields and that water is going to stay on that land only. Means of course agricultural needs water, but heavy amount of water it cannot be needed. But heavy rainfall is occurred means flooding is going to be occurred naturally. Okay, if that flooding water will stay on the agricultural fields or the fertile land means it will be a very dangerous to that agricultural fields. Means farmers can easily lose their crops. Okay, and next one is habitat destruction, and mainly because of these floods so much of natural habitats can be lost, like for this wildlife so much natural habitats can be lost and it will lead to the loss of biodiversity. Next one is water pollution, and because of this flooding so many waterborne diseases will going to be occur. Water pollution will be there. Water pollution nothing but if the contaminated water will be there means that will cause damage to both the aquatic life and for our for the humans also. If we are going to drink that contaminated water means we are going to get the different types of waterborne diseases. And also for the aquatic life, what will happen? They will be staying in that water only. Means there will be so much damage to that aquatic life also. And next one is sedimentation. And when these floods are going to be occurred means there will be so much means very large amount of this sediments is going to be present, is going to be occurred when this flood water will be there. It may be present in the lakes or it may be present in the river. rivers, and this will give rise to the ecosystem, and also it will give rise to the water quality also. Means we can't get the very clean water at that time. Means water can be some muddy like that. Okay. And next one is economic effects. And in this economic effects, first one is property damage. If any cyclone is occurred, means that will give very excessive damage towards the infrastructures, houses, businesses, and also after these floods occurred, it will lead to the high repair cost and also the replacement cost. If the infrastructure is damaged, means we have to reconstruct that one, or we have to repair that one. Means cost is, of course, it will be doubled at that time. Okay. Next one is agricultural loss. Means in this agricultural loss, there will be so much crops and livestock can be easily damaged. Why? Because the crops can be easily damaged because of the heavy water. Okay. And that will lead to the economic loss for that farmers, and also that will give rise to the food prices also. And next one is business disruption. This one I already told you. This one economic effects, and flooding can also halt the business operations, and this can easily disrupt the supply chains, and also this can cause the loss of income and employment for different types of peoples there. And also the insurance here, some of the people, the cost of that insurance also, it climbs or significantly after the floods. There will be so much damage to the insurance people also. Why? Because it will affect both the companies and also the individuals there. And next one is human health. Here there will be so much loss of injuries. That is first one. And if floods occur, means for example flash flood is going to be occur, means flash flood we can't predict. But why? Because within immediate action heavy rainfall will be there. It will just wash out the overall area. Okay, if that mud houses will be there or small houses will be there, means at the time of the floods it will just wash out that area. Okay, and so that so many people they can lose their lives at that time, and so many got injured at that time due to this drowning and collapsing of that structures on them, and there will be so much debris can be seen at that time. And next is displacement, and displacement is nothing but the, if floods are going to be take place at that place, means government have to release the strict warnings towards that area people. Means they have to evacuate that their homes from that place to another place temporarily or permanently. They have to move. Why? Because that have to be that is one of the main important. If they want to save themselves, means they have to evacuate that flood prone areas, and government have to provide the emergency shelters also for them. And next one is health risk. Means obviously if the flood is going to be happen at very high time, means of course there will be rise in the waterborne diseases, and also contaminated water will be there. By this contaminated water, waterborne diseases like malaria, cholera or dysentery can be caused easily. If this contaminated water or storage of that water will be stayed like that only, means from that mosquitoes are going to be raised, and that will give rise to the malaria also. Okay. And next one is mental health. And in this mental health, of course, some of the people maybe they lose their loved ones, and they may get injured at that time. And some of the people they get a trauma of experience that disaster. That will be some psychological effects on that individuals also. Next one is long-term effects. In this long-term effect, because of these floods, there will be economic recovery. And in some of the countries, means for example in our India, any disaster happen, means it will take some time to again regain our daily life. Okay, means of course we have to be very much prepared, and we have to just after evacuating our homes, after we are going to start a new life. Okay, it will take some time. Means For that infrastructure repairing also, it may take some months also, or some years also it may take. But some developing countries, of course, some developing countries, it will take so much time. For the developed countries, it may take some months only. Okay, means they will be having very high-ended technologies there. Okay, and next one is infrastructure development. And because of this flood, so much infrastructure damage will be there for the buildings, or from the, or for the some structures. There will be so much damage for them. So we have to repair that one, or we have to reconstruct that type of infrastructure. Means we have to improve and also increase the resilience. Okay. And next one is community resilience. Means we have to adopt the better building pattern practices here. And if you are not going to, after the floods happen, we know the main causes of that one. Means after knowing the causes also, if you are not going to do anything, means that will be very much damage to ourselves for the next flood. So after knowing the cause of this flood, we have to just provide that some of the causes, maybe proper drainage facilities will not be there. Means after the flood action, we have to take immediate responsibility to repair that drainage system. Means how we are going to provide some proper drainage system, so that floods cannot be, how that cannot be occurred in the future like that. And next one is environmental recovery. Means in that environmental recovery, naturally, and if floods occurred, means some of the wetlands, it may take almost some years to return to that means pre-flood reaction, and some will change permanently also. So if the floods occur, means for some of the regions that some changes cannot be occurred. Means if the flood occur, means after flood occurring, that will be, damage will be done, but they cannot be repaired. Some wetlands will be there. That wetlands can be, it may take almost some months or years to return to their original shape. Okay. Likewise, there will be so much environmental recovery will be there. Okay. These are the references books. You can also refer. Thank you everyone.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.